Good evening, everyone. Hate to pop anyone's big, bright red balloon, but It Chapter 2 was not very good. I thought it sucked. It suffers a lot of the same problems as the first It movie from a couple years ago. Kind of a shame. When the movie started, I was enjoying it and really into it. A lot of that is because of the actors and the performances. The last 45 minutes, it becomes a huge mess, which we'll talk about a little bit. If this movie's out on digital next month, just wait and get it at Redbox or buy it on digital and watch it for a Halloween thing or something. I was originally really excited to kind of kick off Halloween spooky season with this movie. I've been ready for Halloween since August 1st, and now we're at a month where it's kind of acceptable to actually be excited for Halloween. All the Spirit Halloween stores are starting to open, so what better way to kick off the month than with this movie? And again, I was really having fun and liking a lot of it, especially the performances. The casting was great, and I'm not even just talking about the acting, which again, the acting was phenomenal, but how much just they got the casting to get actors and adults who just, again, looked exactly like what you'd think grown-up versions of the kids from the first one were. It was great. I thought it was going to be a little distracting seeing James McAvoy and Jessica Chastain, who kind of just had these high-caliber actors. And then this isn't a low-budget movie, I guess, but it was kind of a little, when I heard they got cast, I'm like, wow, those are some big names. And I was like, maybe they'll be a little distracting now. They were phenomenal. James McAvoy, man, he could show up in my office as a new guy named Doug and act like an employee, and I would believe it. I just believe that's who that was. No makeup or really anything to like where he doesn't look like James McAvoy. He was just acting like another office worker. I'd buy it. Getting back on things I like I said, performances carry a lot of this. All the actors, I already mentioned McAvoy and Jessica Chastain. Bill Hader is just funny. No matter what, and then the obnoxious kid, Finn Wolfhard, the Stranger Things kids from the first one, same attitudes. They really nailed it with the casting. The guy who plays Eddie's great. And then Bill Skarsgård, I think, for as confusing as Pennywise is and his abilities, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, kills it. He's giving it everything. He's creepy. The voices makes your skin, the hairs on your skin stand up. I think everyone acting, performance-wise, gives it everything they got in this movie, and it shows. And it really carries it a lot further than it normally would with lesser actors. There's just a lot of problems, though, with the movie and the idea. I haven't read the book. I can't compare it. You shouldn't have to read the book for the movie to be good, though. The movie should be good by itself as a reflection of the book. You shouldn't have to read as a prerequisite to enjoy or understand the motion picture. What does Pennywise do? What can he do? Because it's like a two-sided thing of he's either making kids or the adults in this movie think they see things. Like he's distorting their environment, and he's making monsters chase them and scaring them. And then in other moments, in both this and the second movie, he's physically harming and killing people with his huge jaws that seem to work like the TARDIS, and that it's bigger on the inside than the outside. And there's so many instances where it's like, well, if you had him, the guy you're chasing, why don't you just kill him? I don't know if it's like playing with your food, because he likes the fear. It's like salting the meat or something. But there's just these instances where he just can very easily maim or kill the people he's after. And this movie could have been 30 minutes. It just did that. Can he teleport? It seems like he's in multiple places at once. And again, maybe in the book this is explained, or you're not supposed to think. It just makes, it kind of deflates some of the tension. I don't know. Red Letter Media, not to copy or anything, they kind of articulate this very well with horror movies. And horror movies that do really well are ones where the monster or the danger has rules. And examples being like Nightmare on Elm Street. Freddy Krueger can only get you when you're asleep and you're dreaming about him. Fine. And then that's the rule that they more or less stick with. A great more recent example is kind of the the indie horror movie from a few years ago, It Follows. The monster has rules, and they stick with those rules throughout the movie, which you feel more into the story. I think with the rules there, it pulls you in more and grounds it a little, which is kind of a dumb thing to say about a monster movie, but it does pull you in, and it makes it more exciting and engaging watching the characters try to use the rules to outthink or plan or strategize and fight. With it, both movies, the first and the second part, you don't know what he can do. He can be in multiple places at once. He kills some people, and other people he can't touch for some reason or get to. And then how they fight the Pennywise in the end, they're like making up rules on the spot for how they can beat him or make him weaker that like aren't brought up earlier in the movie. You know, in a lot of movies you have this idea of planting and payoff where you set up something earlier in the film, and you know, kind of in the back part of your head, like, oh, that's going to come up later. No, this is the last part of the movie, the last big confrontation, and they're, oh wait, we can do this, like out of nowhere, and that's what they do. And that's what the movie decides to do. And just, I didn't like that. The last 45 minutes in the movie too, which is really where this whole thing falls apart. It suffers from what a lot of horror movies suffer from, and I think even some superhero movies. It's just a big, computer-rendered, bloated mess. You can't tell what's going on. People are getting like stabbed and thrown around and hit with rocks, and then they're fine, so they're invulnerable until the script says they need to be hurt. And it's not fun for me. It's, again, you don't know what Pennywise can and can't do. The characters are like making up ways that he can be defeated, like as they're going, that were never explained or set up, and it just goes on way too long. This movie's almost 3 hours, so it's really, you know, for what a theater ticket is and the time commitment, don't see this in theaters. Yeah, I didn't like it. There's no rules for Pennywise, and you just kind of have a 40-minute huge messy fight where you don't really know what's happening because they don't really explain what the fucking clown can and can't do. I did want to kind of point out, though, just Stephen King's world, because the part of why I liked the movie were these traits that I've seen. I'm not a Stephen King aficionado. I've never read one of his books. I've just seen a few of the movies, The Shining being probably the most popular one that I've seen. What I think is so engaging and what makes his world so unique is how he injects like his own Stephen King brand of human misery into the stories and the characters. And if you've seen the first It, all the parents are negligent, abusive, horrible. They're not nice. There's bullies who are bullies not because you're like, oh, they have it rough at home, or they don't give you a reason to sympathize with these people who are monsters. They're just monsters, and that's part of the world. And it just makes the whole thing so much more unsettling. You don't trust anyone or anything because no one except for like the protagonist and the Losers Club in It are good people or people that you can relate to. And I know, like, you want to relate to characters, yeah, that's what the losers are for. But I think what makes the Stephen King settings unique is just having all these horrible, shitty people as part of like the setting. And then that stuff, you know, whether it was with the abusive parents or the bullies in the town who were just psychos, that's so much more gripping, and it had me so much more on edge than the clown did. You kind of knew exactly what was going to happen to the clown every time he showed up with the setup, with who was about to die or who was about to like get scared and then get to run away. But with the human characters or the bullies, you don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know. I think that it's part of the point. You know, the whole marketing for the movie is the clown on the poster. Half the shit in Hot Topic right now has Pennywise on it. But to me, though, the more engaging and terrifying part of the movie are these human characters and elements that are just bad and obstacles for the protagonist that they have to navigate. Now, the movie's marketed as about a dumb, scary clown that doesn't make sense. Again, put it on when it's on video. It comes out on video. Don't go to the theater. Get a big group of friends if you really want to. Have some drinks. That'll make it easier if you really want to watch it. That's all I gotta say. Really enjoyed the first hour and a half from the performances. That's the big redeeming thing I can have from this, and then being made uneasy by that special Stephen King charm. That's all I have to say about it. Thank you.